Greetings, royal family. Don't mind me, y'all. My curls are cooking, okay? So we are back for another episode of Growing Up Hip Hop LA, Season 5, Episode 3. Before I start, I am a firm believer in you either accept people for who they are or you leave them where they are. It'll all make sense. All right, so this episode opens up with the fellas at it looks like a pool hall. So you have Lil Easy, that's Lil Wayne 2.0. You have, oh no, that's Little Twist, my bad. You have Little Twist, Little Easy, which is Eazy-E's son, Boogie, and JoJo. So they're talking about whatever it is that they're talking about. And of course, JoJo brings up the party, the situation where Romeo thanks Angela for coming. So JoJo, he's pretty much whining about Romeo unfollowing him, and they're all pulling out their phones to see if Romeo unfollowed them. So they're like, oh my God, he unfollowed me too. He unfollowed me too. It's like, nowadays, if you unfollow someone, it's like on social media, it's like a sign of disrespect, you know? God, have we really gotten to that point? I miss the 90s, man. Seriously, I totally miss the 90s. So anyway, so the other guys, they seem not to be taking it as personal as JoJo. I mean, Little Easy, he did his confessional. He says, wow, you know, I'm shocked. Like, little Romeo is like my little brother. It's like, it's social media. I get it. It's the age that we're in, so I get it. So that's a sign of disrespect to most people in this day and age. But if you remember from last episode, little Romeo said he unfollowed his grandmammy. Okay, so he unfollowed everybody. So I guess they don't know that. So to them, they're looking at it as a slight. But JoJo is really taking it personal. Boogie even said, or he came across that he's pretty much shocked that JoJo is surprised, because he says this is how Romeo has always been. Like, he's hard to get in contact with. You call him, you can't get in contact with him. So Boogie's just looking at JoJo sideways like, why are you shocked about this? It's for the cameras, Boogie, duh, you know. I just, see now, I don't know how to feel about this. Could it be that Romeo just doesn't want to be bothered with any of them? Or is it that he really is working? Look, that's Percy's boy, okay? Master P doesn't strike me as the type of person to want to allow Romeo to have too much idle and social time. He's all about his business. And he eventually wants to hand over his empire to his son. So Romeo is always working. So I think Percy got him working day and night. And he ain't got time to be on the phone, okay? Maybe that's really what it is. But I don't know. Master P kind of strikes me as that type of dad. Like, he doesn't want him really fraternizing too much unless it's about business, because he's ready to retire. Romeo's still young. But I don't know. I just don't think that it's that he doesn't want anything to do with the other castmates and stuff like that. I don't know. I just feel like, as far as JoJo, back to JoJo, because, he's going off about this. I understand protecting your family because that is his sister. And he said that, like, no one's going to talk about my sister. He's making it seem like Angela's like a garden tool, if you know what I mean. And I just think that he's been having issues with Romeo and he may have kept silent about it. So now he's kind of using this as an opportunity to say what he's always wanted to say, because when they were at that party and JoJo was going off outside and everybody was just like walking past him like it was no big deal, he says, come on, he's always been like this. Like, he never pick up the phone. You know how it is. I'm the realest ninja on the show. So you've always had issues with Rome. You probably never said anything for whatever reason. And now with this Angela situation, it's probably the last straw for you. So you're using this. I don't think it's really about protecting your sister. I could be wrong because they seem very close, but I think it's you just really have an issue with him. And I feel like, I know this is going to sound so crazy because it's his sister. I really think that he should stay out of it. Romeo is not around here disrespecting your sister, calling her all types of bees and hoes, and him saying that he no longer wants to be associated with her. If she said that about Romeo, it wouldn't be a big deal. But because he's saying it, it's a big deal. He has the right to associate or not associate with whoever he wants to. So I don't know. I think that he should stay. I really do think that he should stay out of it. Like Angela and Romeo had their own complicated situation, and he's not disrespecting your sister. Like you're putting 20 on 10. So I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. You know, opposing opinions are welcome as long as they're respectful. Moving along, Tyran and TT. My favorite people. Okay, so Tyran, he's at the park doing his little capoeira workout or whatever. You know what I mean? He's like doing pull-ups on the trees and he's just getting his workout on. So he meets up with TT and they pretty much want to discuss Egypt and her boyfriend because, you know, Egypt's boyfriend is planning on proposing to her and Tyran and TT want to put a stop to this, okay? Tyran did tell TT that he went to the pawn shop with old boy. Sam is his name. He went to the pawn shop with Sam to buy Egypt a ring. And TT's like, what did he pay with a coupon? I thought that was funny. She's a little bougie, but she's cool bougie, you know? So they're on edge because the bottom line is they don't want her to get married. And TT's whole thing is, yes, she understands, you know, young love and stuff like that, but they're both young, you know, and he's broke and he has kids. So it's just like not a good look. That's her whole logic. So she's trying to protect her little cousin. I totally get it. Boogie and Little Twist. So Little Twist, he's in the studio, you know, with his balloons and his good vibes and his positive energy. And he's actually working on music. He's talking about, he did a song with, Lil Wayne, Chris Brown. He's got another album coming out. So he's actually working. You see him in the studio working. So Boogie comes by to visit and they start talking about Romeo. I just feel like, didn't y'all discuss this at the pool hall? But this could have been shot out of sequence, so I get it. So Boogie is saying that Romeo is always MIA and he uses God as an excuse and he never shows support for them the way they support him. So, you know, if they have functions, he very rarely will go, but he always invites them and they go and show support. So we're starting to see a little pattern here. What JoJo, Angela, and Boogie are saying kind of matches up. So is Romeo really the problem? Was Angela telling the truth? What's up with Romeo? It seems like the roles have reversed because Angela used to really be like that. Angela was like never showing up to anybody's functions really. And if she did, she stayed for like 2 minutes and left. But now this storyline of Rome being the problem. And Boogie too. Remember Boogie was MIA, but he was going through his personal, you know, issues or what have you. So he was MIA a lot. So this is interesting shift in dynamic here. So was Angela telling the truth and was Romeo lying? We shall see. So Boogie goes into talking about his family issues. At the party, Dame Dash, in the last episode, Dame Dash briefly talked about the court issues that he's having with his daughter's mother and his daughter. So Boogie kind of touched on that. So what his sister did was she wrote a declaration against Dame, Ava, which is Boogie's sister, Dame Dash daughter. So they're going at it in court. They're going back and forth. Now, I do hope that this doesn't cause Boogie to relapse. I think that he should stay out of this too. And I know it's his family, you know, but sometimes he was dealing with a lot last season. He was really going through a lot and he was withdrawn. He didn't even want to go to rehab, didn't even want to get help. I think that he should focus on himself and his mental health because something like this, like family issues, unresolved family issues on top of new family issues, you don't know where that will put him mentally. And then, you know, you run the risk of him relapsing. So I think for his mental health, I think that he should stay out of it as much as he can. He seems to be like hands off about it. I'm pretty sure he hears about it. I don't think that Dame should be getting him involved by telling him what's going on and trying to get him on his side. Dame can be a bit much. That's just my opinion. So like I said, I know it's family, but sometimes you really have to take your hands off of stuff for your, you know, mental health, you know? All right, that's enough of that. Egypt, okay, our little baby sister, Egypt. So she's headed to Texas because Salt and Pepper, they're on tour. So her mom has a show in Texas. So Tyran, TT, and Egypt are going. Tretch is also, and Naughty by Nature, they're also going to be performing in Texas at this show as well. And of course, Sam is not invited. So she's talking to Sam and she's kind of like packing up her bags. And they're talking about him and TT not getting along. You know, Egypt wants everybody to get along. He just comes across, he's playing video games. He's just real rude. You know, he comes across, I guess he's tired of everybody not liking him. But he's just rude. He's rude and he sees nothing wrong with his attitude or his behavior, you know, all while living in the house that your girlfriend's mother is paying for. Like, you can't, I would blame it on him being young and dumb, but I think he is significantly older than Egypt, if I'm not mistaken. I know she's either like 20, between like 20 and 22 or something like that. I think they said she's 20 and he's older than her. I don't know how much older, but he just seems real, he doesn't want to do anything, you know? And Sam, you're not the man of the house. You can't even get the big piece of chicken at the dinner table at this point. Like, you're not working. I understand you're working on your music. You have 2 kids with 2 different women. You're dating Egypt. You're living in a house that your girlfriend's mother is paying for, regardless if Pep doesn't mind. It's just like, what mother would be excited that their daughter is dating a man like this? I'm just saying. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't dare bring home a Sam, not to my family, and certainly not to the captain, my mother. Oh no, I wouldn't even think of it, because she would probably have me admitted into some sort of psych ward, because she would wonder what's wrong with me. So Sam, you're not getting the big piece of chicken at the dinner table. So then Egypt, Pep, Tyran, and TT, the squad, I love them. They're all catching up. You know, they're in Texas now. And Egypt is going to be performing. She says that she's going to be performing with Sam at his show. Did she say he had a 3-minute set? I could have sworn. I didn't want to rewind. I could have sworn she said he had a 3-minute set and she's excited. So she's going to be performing with him, or 30-minute. So they're getting hair and makeup done, and TT is telling Pep, they're talking now, TT's telling Pep that Sam is going to propose to Egypt. Remember, Egypt doesn't know that Sam is planning this proposal. He's supposed to be doing it at his performance. So Pep, I was shocked that she didn't really have any reaction, and she feels that there's nothing wrong with it. She says that, you know, Sam treats Egypt well, and everyone needs to back off. I was shocked. I was actually shocked that she says that. So TT's angle is, again, Sam has 2 children with 2 different women and no job. What I thought in that moment, well, after seeing that, after being shocked that Pep is not saying anything, because we saw this same storyline last season when they tried to run off to get married, and Pep and the whole gang, they stopped them. I think that Pep realizes that the more she pushes against this relationship with Sam, the further Egypt is going to pull away from her. And she did make a good point. Tretch said the same thing. Just because they get engaged doesn't mean that they're going to get married, you know, and Pep feels that she raised her daughter to be very independent and to be very smart. So she is trusting her daughter to make the right decision. So as a mother, she doesn't want to lose her baby. So it seems like she's letting Egypt, you know, make her own choices just under her roof that she's paying for, probably to keep an eye on the 2 of them. She probably got cameras in that house. I wouldn't be surprised. I would. But I understand. I get it. You know, it's like beating a dead horse. You know, you got to let your daughter grow up. I get that. And like I said, the more you push against this relationship, it's just going to drive them further together. So I think that Pep has accepted the fact that Egypt and Sam are dating. And I think that she is being very patient. You could tell she just adores, she loves her daughter. She doesn't want to lose her daughter. So we'll see how this works out. Moving along, the Simmons sisters, Nessa and Angela. So they're sitting down for, I don't know, they're just talking. They're sitting somewhere outside and they're talking. So Angela brings up a IG post that she was tagged in. And the post said, "Angela, you better come get your husband with his fine self." To which Romeo responded, because I think it was under Romeo's post. He must have posted a picture. Romeo responded, "Sorry, love, wrong page." So Angela's all bent out of shape about that. She finds that offensive. And Vanessa says that she feels foolish for even doing the party for him. And then she proceeds to tell Angela what happened when Romeo called her over, you know, to her house in the first episode and started telling her how he feels about Vanessa. Now, what I don't understand is, Nessa, why didn't you tell Angela all of this prior to moving forward with planning the party? So again, I don't know. I don't get that. I don't get that. And Angela is looking at Vanessa kind of side-eye like, oh, okay, so you know, oh, okay, so you sat down and had a conversation. So then what did JoJo tell Angela then? Didn't JoJo tell Angela that Vanessa talked to him? I don't know. Editing is messing me all up right now. Anyway, so Vanessa, she pulls out her phone. Angela pulls out her phone and she's showing the attempts that she made to text Romeo. You know, she said he didn't respond to this text. You know, look at all these text messages that he didn't respond to. He may have responded to one. So Vanessa brings up the fact that, hey, you know, he says that he tried to connect. You guys were supposed to meet up in New York and you stood him up. She's like, I called him. I reached out to him. You know, he didn't reply. I don't know. Somebody's lying. And quite frankly, after this episode, I no longer care. Unless you guys are going to be telling the truth of what's really going on, I don't care anymore. The first 2 episodes were entertaining. This was entertaining too, but I want to focus on the other cast members, right? So Vanessa wants to set Angela up on a date. Angela wants to go speed dating. Vanessa's like, no, that's corny. So she feels like, you know what, you should get out and date. But if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Angela dating some basketball player? One of my viewers did put that in the comments of the last video. And I did go back and look, but I didn't remember the basketball player's name. It doesn't matter. And aren't you still messing with Bow Wow, allegedly? Anyway, the Brianna situation. They start talking about the Brianna situation. And Angela starts to talk about her meeting up with Brianna. Because remember, at the party, Brianna wanted to sit down and have a chat and iron things out. And Angela was acting like she was so totally interested and she set it up. But we all know that she could care less. So Angela's really not interested in building a friendship. This is what she says. She said, I'm not interested in building a friendship. Interesting. Romeo doesn't want a friendship with you, but he's so wrong. Anyway, and she wants to squash the bug and be done. This is what she said. Those are her words. I don't know what bug she's talking about. I don't know if she's referring to Brianna as a bug, but I am pretty sure that when that's played back and they do a little mini reunion, I'm sure Brianna's going to have something to say. So Vanessa's kind of worried, like, do you need me to go with you? You know, you don't think things are going to get buck? So Angela's like, of course they are. But she's taking her right hand with her. So, girl, if you got to do all of that, why not just tell her, look, I don't have any issues with you. We could remain cordial. It's not really anything to talk about. Like, I can't wait to see that interaction take place. Anyway, so back to Pep and the gang. So TT and Tyran, they plan to talk to Tretch because remember, they're in Texas. Salt and Pepper's on tour. They have a show in Texas. Tretch and Vinny, Naughty by Nature, shout out to Jersey, they are there as well. So they're going to take this opportunity to speak to Tretch about Sam's proposal plans, right? They're backstage and Egypt notices that Pep has her own dressing room. And she goes in to say that this is weird because growing up, Salt and Pepper always shared a dressing room. So I think that there's some tension there or what have you. And Egypt goes into saying like, you know, my mom is very outspoken and she's very outgoing. And I don't think Salt really is into that anymore. We knew that already. We knew that already. Ever since Salt, I think she became a Christian, she didn't even want to perform Push It a couple of years back. Like certain songs she didn't want to perform or she changed up the lyrics. So she is different and Pep is pretty much still the same, just older. All right. So now Egypt and Tretch. Egypt goes to see her dad backstage. You know, he's excited to see her. And she's hanging out with her dad, hanging out with Vinny, and there's some fans backstage, so they do a couple of photos. Again, shout out to Jersey. And then we move to see Tyran and Titi. So they catch up with Tresh. They are on his tour bus, it looks like. And Tyran pretty much tells Tresh about the plan that Sam has of proposing to Egypt. And he's listening, okay? He's not interrupting, he's listening. And then before he even says his opinion, he looks to Titi and he asks Titi how she feels. And of course, you know, Titi tells him. I love that. I love that he asked Titi her opinion, and that lets me know that they really are close. All of them are really close-knit, and he trusts her opinion, and he cares about her, and he cares about how she feels. Tretch is so romantic. So Tretch feels like just because they're getting engaged doesn't mean that they're going to get married. Same thing Pep kind of said. And he did say that Sam needs to talk to him. He said because he had no idea about any proposal or anything like that. And Tretch is from the old school. He says, you know, as a man, you're supposed to ask your Egypt's father for her hand in marriage. You know how that goes. So he looks. I didn't think he was gonna get buck wild or anything like that. But I just that moment when he asked Titi, he was like, "What do you think?" After Tyran was finished talking, he said, "What do you think?" Like I said, Titi. She's very outspoken and she's very serious about it or whatever. So I think that he probably, I don't know, he kept his cool. I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting Tretch from Jason's Lyric or something like that, you know? But he kept his cool, but you could tell that he wasn't really feeling it because he did a little confessional and he's just like, you know, he's going to have to come and meet me. He's going to have to come and sit down with me. Sam, you're just you. You know, there's nothing. You're just Sam. You just seem to do whatever it is that you want to do. And next week's episode I thought was interesting because I did see the preview. We're gonna see Sam start to become divisive, and I always thought that he was very divisive. It's just something about that guy that I just don't like. And everybody has their taste in men, but bro, you got 2 kids. Okay? No job. Anyway, so Sam is going to make it seem like the reason why TT doesn't want him and Egypt to be together is because TT wants him. Girl, boy. Again, you got 2 kids with 2 different women with no job. And you know what that means? When I hear that, you have 2 kids, no job, that lets me know that these mothers, because they're by 2 different women, these mothers aren't receiving any support from you financially. So that means that they're doing whatever it is that they need to do without your financial support. I could be wrong. I'm just saying. Let me tell you something. If Egypt marries that boy, Pep is going to be the one paying his child support. Okay? Because I don't understand why is he so adamant about getting married. Egypt is what? Like I said, 20. In my opinion, 20-year-old girls don't need to date men that have children. Not at all in your 20s. So if you are in your 20s, I don't care if you are 29 and a half. You ain't got no business dating no man with 2 kids or any kids. That is my opinion. Take it from your Auntie B. Don't do it. I just feel like you're too young to have, and you have too much life to be anyone's step baby mama or stepmama. Run while you can. And also, too, you run the risk of you get married. Let's say, you know, you're financially well off and your man is behind on child support. That now becomes your financial responsibility. Google it. Okay? So and Wendy says the same thing. And I agree. You're in your 20s. You're probably in school. You're probably working. Travel. Go out with your girlfriends. Go out with your friends. Get some stamps in your passport. You don't need to be work on your undergrad, work on your grad degree. Go ahead and work on your doctorate. You understand what I'm saying? Work, work, work. Have fun, have fun, have fun. Explore, travel. I feel like in your 20s, that is when you are supposed to kind of like see the world. You know, you're still young. You have your youth about you. Take care of your physical health. Take care of your mental health. Like I said, get some stamps in your passport, which reminds me, I need to renew my passport. Get some stamps in your passport. You don't need to be tied down with a man that has kids. You know, it could work. It could work. Anything's possible. But I just feel like, you don't need to. You don't need to. That man has responsibilities. He is all the way in Las Vegas. God knows where his kids are. Your priority should be your children, not trying to marry Tretch's daughter. Let her live her life. But if she likes it, I love it. We love baby Egypt, and hopefully she will make the right decision. Royal family, that is it for Growing Up Hip Hop. So we will see what happens next week. If you made it this far, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Get down in the comments and let me know what you think. Like I said, you can disagree with anything that I said as long as you do it respectfully. Royal family, I am signing off. Let me go finish cooking these curls so I can get, my next video up for you. Make sure you have your notifications on because I will be back soon, real soon. Until next time, peace.